Hello, Froggy here, and today we'll be going into the Bay of Drowned Wishes Ascendant Challenge via Last Wish. I have made several videos on getting into Agonarch Abyss, and I'm still amazed that there are new ones. This one comes from an IRB point that Avvy found. You'll need to have an ally with you to trigger the auto-res. First up, we're going to set a spawn point to make this a bit more convenient. You could theoretically do this after setting up the wrong load, which we'll also be using, but it is a lot easier to do it this way so that you don't accidentally trigger the wrong load early or anything like that. There is a possibility that your game will crash while doing this. I had that happen maybe 2 times before it ended up working. Luckily, accidentally dying doesn't really affect this. We're currently climbing way on top to where the maps line up with Bay of Drowned Wishes for some out-of-box terrain. The terrain that we're using is common to a lot of areas in Dreaming City. It's also the same sort of spot that we use in Spine of Caries for the Shattered Throne route. You don't need to stasis climb up, luckily. You can just use one grenade and then climb the rest of the way. This jump can be a bit tight, but you can also jump around or use another stasis grenade to climb up. Should be doable on any class. And this rocky area here is our goal. You just want to stand up here, maybe walk around a little bit just to make sure you've set a spawn point, and now we want to go back to the start without setting a spawn point. So you want to avoid touching the ground as much as possible. I messed up a little bit here, so I'm going to have to gain that height back with a bit of well-timed sword flying, but you could just land up top and do the normal jump as long as you jump as soon as you touch the ground. Going back through this gap can be a little bit tricky, finding where the hole actually is. You can use the shadow on the ground there to kind of see where the domed part is. And as long as you jump high enough, you'll go right through this wall section. Now we just have to trigger the wrong load by getting close to Bay of Drowned Wishes. In Last Wish, there is a turn-back region and then a hard barrier preventing you from getting all the way there, but luckily you can get close enough for the purposes of the wrong load, which allows you to load a zone by getting close to it and then entering a disabled load. Still working on doing that with non-disabled loads, which would be very interesting for things like galaxy pools. But anyways, now that we're here, we need to set our IRB point by dying anywhere on this side of the structure. Most of the land will line up as long as you don't go too far to the left. I would recommend going far to the left for jumping down, because I did crash when I hit the load from up here. Don't know if that would happen every time, but I would just recommend going around. And just to jump up to hit the load, and your ghost should be up on this rock face.
Brother Slayer.
At the end of the dialogue at the beginning of Last Wish, you'll get the auto-res.
The awoken queen. You could be so much more.
You just need to have your ally walk in so the door closes and the dialogue starts.
I would quite like to meet you.
You could have your ally do the same route here and join you. But I'm just gonna take a look around up here. So I learned something new while doing that, and that's that the Dreaming City indicator exists in Bay of Drowned Wishes as well. You may be aware that there is a small floating number in the Dreaming City around the 00 point that tells you what week it is in the curse cycle. From this red one, we know that it is week 1 of the curse cycle. The number is also solid, though I failed to get a good footing there. But that's not too bad, because directly below us is our destination. You can see the Agonarch Abyss, the Ascendant area down there. You can go there to pick up the Ahamkara bones for the lore pieces, and possibly the eggs? Some of the eggs exist in patrol-like spaces, and some of them don't. I wonder if this one would be affected by the wish wall. Probably not, but who knows. Anyways, one more way to get here. Kind of disappointed that I didn't stand on that number, so let's go back. You can use a stasis grenade to block any spawn points you set. And now I'm back up here. The red one that you saw will be different colors in other weeks. I believe the 2 in the middle is yellow and the 3 is green. Got an old video covering that from back in the day. I feel like they slightly moved its location at some point. But you wouldn't be able to tell from out here. Anyways, hope you enjoy having one more way to get into the Bay of Drowned Wishes Ascendant challenge.